Rightio folks, it's time to cook these yabbies.
Yet they're going mad! Finally!
Rightio folks, let's cook these yabbies. I'm out my backyard, I've got my pot of water, I've got it boiling or heating up over a little portable camping stove. These little stoves, you can pick them up for about $20 at Kmart. They're a great invention. They're not quite hot enough to boil a pot this big efficiently. They will boil it, but it just takes a lot longer to get to that heat. Now, cooking yabbies, there's a whole different number of ways you can cook yabbies. Basically, all you have to do is boil the water, put the yabbies in, boil them for about 10 minutes, take them out and they're right to go. But you can do better than that. That's the easier way. That's the way you do it. But you can enhance the flavours. You can make them a lot nicer. And that's what I'm going to do today. So while I'm waiting for the water to boil, I'm going to get my chopping board. I feel like I'm on a cooking show here. My knife. My Stay Sharp knife. Some salt. Some white vinegar. And some lemons. Now what I'm going to do with these lemons, first of all, I'm going to cut them in half, and then I'm going to add them to the water. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to squeeze the lemon, squeeze as much juice out as I possibly can into the water. Squeeze the juice into the water, and then these stuffed lemons, I'm going to put them in. I might put 2 in, I reckon. I'll cut another one. Squeeze the juice out. Now there's 2 lemons in there complete. You can use lemon juice out of a bottle, that's fine. I just prefer to do it this way because I think you get more flavour out of the pith and the stuff inside the lemon. Then I'm going to put a heap of salt in. Now don't be too scared to pour heaps of salt in. It's no biggie. You're not actually eating this salt, this is just going in the water. The salt can actually raise the boiling temperature of the water a little bit, and it can also make it taste a bit more like it comes from the salt water, I guess. And a bit of vinegar, and a bit of Cornwall Skipping Girl vinegar here. I'll throw a heap of vinegar in. There's no exact measurements. I'm not Gabriel Gattei, the famous fresh cook chef. I smell it. Yep. Smells good. I can smell lemon, I can smell vinegar, and it's got a lot of salt in it. So now we play the waiting game and just wait for the water to come to the boil. Now I'm not going to put the yabbies into the water until it's boiling really like mad. Some people say you can put them in when the water's cold and they go to sleep as the water warms up. I don't trust that theory, not one bit. I would rather be as humane as possible. Wait till the water's boiling, put a yabby in, bang, instant kill, no pain. And you've got to be careful how many yabbies I put in, because if you put too many yabbies in, the water comes off the boil and the yabbies cool the water down, and then it becomes cruel because that's not an instant kill. So you want to bring it to the boil, put a couple of yabbies in, make sure it's still boiling, or bring it back up to the boil, put a couple more in, and make sure that they all go into boiling water one at a time, or 2 at a time. Rightio, we have boil. We have a slight boil. This little stove's really struggling to get this water right up to temperature. It's been on here for probably 10 minutes while I've just had the camera off and I've been talking to a friend on the phone. So it's boiling now, it's just starting to boil. But I don't want to cook them. I don't want to put a yabby into that water yet until it's really boiling like mad. I'll get a bit more heat into it. So what I'll do, I'll start getting my yabbies ready. Just also, if there's any kids watching this, if you decide you want to cook like I am outside on a stove, which is a great idea, just make sure that you haven't got any lawnmower fuel or gas bottles for a barbecue or anything nearby, because you are using a naked flame, and don't use it anywhere near long grass. Now let's take this grass out. That grass can go over there and the sheep can eat it. I'll tip some water out so I can find them. A lot of people say that you should purge your yabbies. What that means is sit them in salty water for quite a while until they throw up and get sick, and it cleans them out. Personally, I don't think that's right. Now we're boiling like mad here. We've got a crazy mad boil going on. What I'm going to do, because these yabbies are likely to cool the water down, I'm going to throw the biggest ones in first. 2 at once there because they're eating each other. I put 3 in. They're still boiling, but the boil has slowed down a little. The reason I'm putting the biggest ones in first, naturally, like most bigger things take longer to cook. And because I'm going to put the lid on between yabbies and allow the temperature to come back up a little bit, the bigger ones are going to be in there longer. So I'll put the bigger ones in first so they cook for longer. It's still boiling, but it's just not quite bubbling. It's bubbling, but it's not really crazy boiling. Those 3 yabbies have dropped the temperature quite a bit, but I reckon those 3 yabbies are equivalent to about 4 of what's in here. So here we go, it's just starting to come back up to a mad boil again. A little bit hotter. Righto. 1, 2, 3, 4. They're still boiling there. Right, there's 4 in. They're boiling away nicely. Once again, I'm just going to wait for that temperature to come back up a little bit. These aren't big yabbies. One of them's quite a nice size yabby. The rest of what I consider to be okay yabbies. Similar size to what I was catching on meat and string the other day. And probably with good reason because I was in the same dam. Surprised the dog hasn't come over to see what I'm doing. She's probably around there chewing on my slipper. Righto. Just get it a little bit hotter. Rightio. Rightio, they're all in, a dozen yabbies. Now what I'm going to do is allow that water to boil like mad for a good 10 or 12 minutes. What I like to do is just keep an eye on the yabbies, and when their shell sort of breaks away, when their tail breaks away from the main part of their shell, which is known as the carapace, when the tail breaks away from the carapace and you get a bit of a gap above the tail, that's a good indication that they're pretty well cooked. Once that happens, I normally just give them a couple more minutes just to be sure, and then they're ready to go. Rightio. These guys have been boiling like mad for about the last 10 minutes or so. Now, I'll show you what I meant before when I said come apart. I won't hold him with my fingers because he's a little bit on the warm side. I might have to hold him with my fingers. If you look at the back there near the tail, ouch, very hot. You can see the tail's coming apart. Ah! See how the tail is broken away from the shell? That's a good indication that they're ready to go. Look at that. Beautiful. Rightio. Now I know there was 12. 2, 3, 4, 5. I might turn this off. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now, while I'm waiting for them to cool, I'm going to go and pour this boiling water over some weeds that I've got out here in the driveway. I don't know whether it'll kill them or not, but I certainly won't like it. Rightio, now when I pulled that boiling water onto those weeds, 2 things happened. 1, my glasses fogged up, and 2, it was there and then that I realised that that's probably something you should do when you're wearing shoes. Ow! Rightio, now I'm just going to quickly demonstrate how I shell yabbies and clean yabbies. With the bigger yabbies, You can eat the claws. There's meat on the claws. You can eat the claws on all the yabbies, but the smaller yabbies, they're that smaller, it's not really worth worrying about. Now this is going to be a bit like double handling to some people, but this is just how I do it. And it works, it's effective and efficient for me. Right, what do? Rip the tail off over the bowl. Now it doesn't matter if you get all this brown shit with it, because that'll wash off in this water. That's what this water's for. The shell can go in that bag. With the shell, you'll see there's these different shells across the back here. What I do is I rip the top 1 or 2 off. Then I put my hand up under, my thumb up under the bottom part, give it a bit of a wiggle, and out it comes. Now, all this brown yucky shit, that's what this bowl of water's for. You see that? Give it a wash. Now I'll pull the part off that's covering the poo line that runs along the back. So I'll pull that top bit off, give it a wash in the water, put it in the bowl, ready to go. I'll pull the poo line out, put that in the bin because we don't want to eat that, because it tastes like crap. It is crap. I'll give that a wash. That's ready to go. Now with the poo line, or even the guts and stuff that you get out of the yabby when you break it apart, when it comes out like that, that is actually edible. It tastes absolutely revolting, but it won't make you sick. That's why I wash it off, because it just tastes absolutely terrible. When I was a kid, my dad told me it's mustard. He says, it's just mustard, just try some. I didn't know where mustard come from, but it didn't take me long to work out that it didn't come from inside yabbies. So here we go. I've given that a quick wash. Break the top couple of those hard shells off the back of the tail. Run my finger up under the shell at the bottom, give it a wiggle, out it comes. Give the cover a wash. I'll call that the cover that covers the poo line. Give that a bit of a wash, because there's plenty of meat there. Take the poo line out. Bob's your uncle. Rightio folks, there's my meat, there's my snack, some nice yabby meat there, plus a few of the larger claws. I'll give them one final rinse under some fresh running water out of the tap. I'm going to put them in the fridge and I'll have them at lunchtime. Now just one last tip. Here is my bag of rubbish, my bag of shells. Don't put that in the bin straight away, because it will stink your bin out. Your bin will stink to oblivion. What you want to do is put them in the freezer, wrap them in a couple of bags, put them in the freezer, and then either the morning of bin day or the night before, put them in the bin then, so that they go away still half frozen or only just thawed out and they haven't had a chance to really stink your bin out. There you go folks, I hope you've liked this. This is my very first ever cooking demonstration. I can't cook to save my life. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you found this useful. Please make sure that you give this video a like. If you liked it, hit the thumbs up. And feel free to share it with your friends, because the bigger my subscriber base goes, the more videos I can go out and make. Thank you very much for watching.